What's up, everybody? Give me just a minute to get set up everywhere, and we will get started. Hey, Tammy, how are you? So our Wednesday night lives are exclusively on YouTube. We're going to spend the first 5-10 minutes on all three, and then everything will move over to YouTube. That a lot of people are still forgetting until they get used to us doing this, and so this will give them the chance to see and then come on over to YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, go on over to YouTube right now, Agent D Baker. Can't miss it. And like I said, tonight's live, every Wednesday night live are exclusively on YouTube. So if you're just now catching us, make sure you come over there. Definitely got some interesting things to discuss tonight. With the runoff elections are finished. Some went exactly how we wanted them to, some not. We'll talk about that a little bit. And then also some of the other cases that we've been going over, and a new one as well. But again, so we'll do about the first 5 minutes of the show. We're going to be on all three platforms, but then after that, everything will move over to YouTube. So make sure if you're on Facebook or TikTok, go on over to YouTube so you don't miss the rest of the live tonight. Hey, Joe, how are you? Hey, Ann, how was Arkansas today? So Isha had a comment, and then it just went away. And if you haven't had a chance, I did put out a short podcast today about I'm sure most of you have heard about the incident where the dad took his two daughters into a women's restroom. He did everything he was supposed to do. He made sure there was no females in there or anything like that. And all he did is took his two little girls in there to use the restroom. And this idiot comes in and calls the police on him. It's one of the dumbest things I've seen. I don't understand people. Hey, Carla, how are you? I don't understand people. Like, what in this guy's mind made him think this was a horrible thing? And some of the suggestions he made to the guy was some of the worst parenting advice I've ever heard. But I did do a short podcast on that today, went a little bit into that, but we'll go over that. We'll talk about that tonight as well, because I would like to hear everyone's thoughts on that. It's a crazy video. We'll watch the video as well. It looks like, and I can't tell if the guy, he was a private contractor for some company, and they put out a statement that he's no longer a part of their business. But I can't tell if that happened before, and they're just putting it out to make sure everyone knows, because he still had it listed on his, I think, Instagram or something like that, or if they removed him from being, I think he was like a private contractor for them. If they removed him from being a private contractor for them because of this incident, I'm not sure on that. Somebody may know, and I don't know exactly where the incident happened. I know it happened in Alabama, and allegedly, the guy, I just call him idiot guy. He is from Starkville, Mississippi, is what people were saying. So, but yeah, I don't know what part of Alabama this happened in, but it was ridiculous. It's just unreal how ignorant some people are. But all right, so we have a large crowd on Facebook right now, and this is why I wanted to do this because I know a lot of people forget. So Wednesday nights, which is tonight, my lives are exclusively on YouTube. So we're about to go ahead and switch everything exclusively over to YouTube. So, and I'll give everybody a couple minutes, but if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, it's Agent D Baker. You can just go to YouTube, type in Agent D Baker, you'll find us. And then when you get there, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit notifications. But we'll be doing the rest of the show on YouTube. So make sure you go ahead and switch on over there right now for all of you that's on TikTok and Facebook. So we'll switch on over there. So I will see everybody on YouTube in just a few minutes. All right. Yeah, we had a lot of people on Facebook, so hopefully most of them come on over. But I figured that would be better to start on all three because, again, till everyone gets used to my Wednesday nights being exclusively on YouTube. And the reason that the reason we have at least one live a week just strictly on YouTube, exclusively on YouTube, is because we can just be so much more open as far as we don't have to be as worried and about the words I use and things we talk about and things like that. You still have to be careful, but TikTok is, I hate TikTok. I can't stand it. I despise it, honestly. It's the worst platform ever as far as they will ban you for, out of the blue for nothing. The things that I will click through there and see just videos that are just extremely vulgar and just sick. And I'm like, how do these videos stay up? How do they? And I will post something that's educational, that's not vulgar, that's just educational. It's great intentions, and they take it down over something ridiculous. And so I can't stand TikTok. And I know some of you are saying, well, then why are you on there? Unfortunately, because it pays the best right now. It's really what is kind of paying the bills right now. The other platforms, Facebook doesn't pay half as good for whatever reason, and YouTube, but just haven't built up yet. We still have such a low, like we only have like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube right now, so we have to stay on TikTok for now. But as soon as I don't have to, I will never be back on TikTok, and I will down it every chance I get. It's unbelievably ridiculous, and it got so much worse when whatever they did with the allegedly with Americans that took over it. I don't know exactly what all happened, how that happened, but the company's changed hands or something like that. And since then, it's gotten way worse. It was way better when it was just a China thing. Honestly, I'm just being honest. It was way better. And that was all there was a lot of misinformation about that as well. But anyway. And I did make sure to turn the commercials off on YouTube tonight, so y'all shouldn't have to worry about that. But on the note of finances, being a completely independent journalist, it is tough in today's time right now, where we're still building and with I'll put it this: I'm not profiting any money yet. I'm still putting out more than I'm bringing in, but hopefully, I mean, obviously, the hope is that we do get there. But if you do enjoy the show and you would like to help an independent journalist, there is a tab on our website, agentdbaker.com, and it just says donate. You click on that, and it will take you to Agent D Baker Venmo, and you can give whatever you would like to give, and that would be very helpful. Sorry, there's a little fruit fly flying around in here, driving me insane. Ask for those donations, my front porch friends. I'm not half as good at asking as Karen is. Maybe I should take some lessons from her, because she is very good at it. I'll give her that. Very good at it. I'd have to come up with some horrible lie, like Jesus came to me today and he said, for everyone that would, please understand, this is a joke I'm making about Karen Wheaton. I'm not saying this happened. But Jesus came to me today and said, everyone that gives me $1,000 today will be blessed beyond their life has ever seen, and they will live to at least 100 years old. They will never be sick again. That kind of sounds like Karen Wheaton. No, you can't get rid of these freaking fruit flies. And in the studio, I don't eat or anything in here. Like, I'll eat a snack or something every once in a while, but I don't even have a trash in here because I'm a clean freak. I'm OCD, and so for one, and this is my space in my house, so this is my space, and so I can keep it exactly like I want it. And so it's, I mean, you could eat off the floors in here. So I don't have anything but those fruit flies. They still get in here, and I don't know why, but they're here. But anyway. Yeah, that one lost me, Isha, for sure. So it should be time for everybody to get over it. So if you've not watched the video I put out today about this idiot guy, we'll go ahead and we'll watch, maybe there may be some of you that have not seen this. So we'll go ahead and watch the video. Because again, I want to see what everybody thinks.
Little girls using the women's bathroom. Wash your hands, baby. He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it. And who's on oxygen?
That part kills me. Oh, I forgot I don't have I forgot I didn't blur the kids' faces out on this one. I did on the other video. But that part kills me, where he's washing his hands like he's committing some horrible crime. Like, what in the world? I know that the dispatcher who was talking to him had to be thinking, what is wrong with this guy? I can't imagine what was going through their head. I mean, they have to deal with crazy people all day, and this probably was the last thing they expected to hear about, get a call from this day. But he's washing his hands right now like he's committing some horrible crime. I don't know. But yes, the two little girls, and that's what really pissed me off and fired me up when the first time I saw it. The two little girls are so scared. And I'll tell you what, if you scare my little girl like that, it's not going to go the same way that it went with in this video. Because that's one thing I can't deal with. And so I'm going to tell you straight up, I'm not going to be half as nice as this guy held his composure, and I give him props for that. He stayed very respectful and very mature. I don't have that in me. I mean, I'm just being honest with you. And if you're making my little girl cry like that, there's going to be a big problem. Especially when all he's trying to do, the little girls are just trying to use the restroom and wash their hands. It's crazy. This freaking guy, Anyway, let's get on through the rest of it.
In the women's bathroom. Wash your hands, baby. He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it. And he was on oxygen.
That's okay. Some men are just immature.
And he's refusing. He's taking his sweet time.
He's taking his sweet time. He's washing their hands. God, this guy needs, I can't say what he needs.
I have 2 girls washing their hands.
You let this lady, this woman she's a woman. She can bring her daughters in here. She's a man.
That part. Let this woman, she's a lady. She can bring your daughters in here. No, she can't. Hell no. Under no, listen to me. Under no circumstance ever, which I know none of y'all would ever do this. I mean, honestly, this is the dumbest thing ever, but under no circumstance ever let a complete stranger take your kids into the restroom. The fact that that's what comes in this idiot's minds worries me to death if he has kids. Because what has he done? What does he put those kids through? If that's where his mind goes, this lady, just because she's a lady, nothing could happen. Just let this complete random stranger take your 2 little girls into the bathroom. Literally the worst parenting advice ever. Please, never, ever even consider that. Excuse my language, he's an idiot.
There's the QT.
I'm their dad.
That's her. I understand. And you don't have any business. We got her in the women's bathroom.
There's no other women in there. And the fact that this man took it upon himself to insert himself in this, I'm sure this guy is probably a blast to spend time with. Could you imagine what this guy's wife's been through? His entire family dealing with that idiot? Like, I mean, seriously. Imagine.
They're girls. They go to the women's bathroom.
This is ridiculous, man.
I am so sorry.
And see, the manager, I don't know if she's the manager, but she works at the gas station. I mean, she's embarrassed and she's apologizing to him. She knows, it's like, why is this guy doing this?
That's okay.
I missed the part. What did he say about
2
the...
girls using the women's bathroom.
Wash your hands, baby.
He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it. And he was on oxygen.
That's okay. Some men are just immature.
And he's refusing. He's taking his sweet time.
I have 2 girls washing their hands.
You let this lady, this woman she's a woman. She can bring her daughters in here. She's a manager of the QT.
I'm their dad.
That's her. I understand.
She's a manager of the QT, so I guess she's got a top secret TSI background check. He says it like he's an idiot. She's the manager of the QT. What could go wrong?
And you don't have any business. We got her in the women's bathroom.
They're girls. They go to the women's bathroom.
This is ridiculous, man.
I am so sorry. It's okay. Some men
Where am I missing? I could have sworn earlier he said something about
little girls using the women's bathroom.
wash your hands, lady.
He is. He's washing his hands with his daughters right now. He is leaving it. And he was on oxygen.
It's okay. Some men are just immature.
And he's refusing. He's taking his sweet time.
I have 2 girls washing their hands.
You let this lady, this woman is she's a woman. She can bring her daughters in here. She's a manager of the QT.
I'm their
You can
dad.
ask her. I understand. And you don't have any business bringing her into the women's bathroom.
They're girls. They go to the women's bathroom.
This is ridiculous.
I don't know where I'm missing it. I don't know. I could have sworn earlier when I was watching it that he said, or you could, that he said you could take them into the men's, or I know at some point he said you could take them into the men's, but anyway, on that point, pretty much the exact same thing I was saying about letting a stranger take your little girls into the restroom. I'm not taking my little girl into a men's restroom. That's not happening. Never. It's not happening. If it's a restroom where I can lock the door and nobody else can come in, okay. But if it's a multi-stall restroom, I'm not taking my little girl into a men's restroom. It's not going to happen. But this I don't know. I can't. I don't understand how. Like, I don't understand how that man has made it through life as far as he has. I don't. Like, how? I mean, and scaring those poor little girls to death. They were scared to death. Because there's just a random strange man sitting there yelling at them because they use the restroom and washing their hands. Freaking idiots. He has 4 boys. No, I feel sorry for his entire family, especially his wife. Again, could you imagine what she's gone through? And could you imagine what he has taught his children, like how they act, and like I cannot fathom. I cannot fathom being in that situation, or like walking by and seeing a man take his 2 little girls into a women's restroom where there's no other females, and me having a problem at all with that. Like, I can't fathom that, especially acting like this idiot, yelling at him and then calling the police over that. God, I don't know. What's up, Nancy? I raised 3 and never let anyone take my children to the bathroom but me. Yeah, no, again, that's common sense. Like, the fact that came into his mind, that blows my mind. It blows my mind. I mean, this is a woman. She could take your 2 girls into the bathroom because, yeah. Are female predators as common? Well, no, absolutely not. But are there female? Yes. And please understand, I think this woman is sweet as can be, and she was obviously 100% on the dad's side and everything. So this is not personal towards her. This is just anybody. I'm not going to let a stranger, nor should you ever let a stranger of any kind take your children into the bathroom. It's like one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life, honestly. What does anybody know what city this happened in? I know it says it happened in Alabama, but I haven't researched or looked enough to. I don't know what. I was just curious if anyone knows. He looked like he was trying to go viral. Well, but exactly. He did go viral. He did go viral. So he got his wish there. But yeah, I like you say, I don't think it's I don't think that's what he was expecting. But you may be right. He's got, I can't say that, but there's a syndrome that we talk about at times with men that they're just not masculine, and they're so insecure about being a man that they try to go out of their way and go way overboard trying to prove their masculinity. And that's got to be what this guy's deal is. That he thought, I'm going to save the day and get this man out of this women's restroom. I'm going to be a big tough guy and scare these two little girls and call the police. But I guarantee you that is probably what was going through his head. Honestly, he was, I'm going to be Superman today. And Isha's probably right. He probably was glad and happy to see that the guy was videoing it, because like, oh yeah, everybody's going to see me being the big bad man. No, it shows us the opposite, idiot. Yes, Nancy, exactly. He's an OWG. Shall I prove my point any further? That is a prime example. Prime example. It's running rampant. Okay. I hope that was the only fruit fly. I finally got it. But no, I can't with people like that. I have no space for somebody like that, and there's no need for anybody like that to exist, in my opinion. So the another thing I want to talk about, and we're not going to spend a ton of time on it because I know we've talked about it before the election a ton, but I do want to discuss my main point of, first off, I want to congratulate Jason Akins for becoming the next sheriff of Walker County. That's awesome. And that's exactly who we wanted in. And the people of Walker County made it happen. And there's about to be a drastic change for the good in Walker County. Is Jason going to be perfect? Well, no, nobody is. Are there going to be some growing pains? Yes. But it's going to be 10,000 times better than it was, number one. And, I mean, I have high hopes for him. I have a lot of confidence in him just from everybody. I don't know him personally, but a lot of people that know him personally, I know very well, and I've talked to extensively about him for a long time now, and I've just never heard anything bad about him. I've never heard anything bad about him, and you can tell he's a very intelligent man. And so, I'm very excited about that, and I'm glad that Walker County went with what we were saying in as far as between Poe and Akins. Poe is just way too old. He needs to retire. Poe should have retired 10 years ago, at least 5 years ago. You have no business being in law enforcement at that age. None. It's sad, really. It's sad that somebody doesn't have a life enough at that age that they want to still spend time in law enforcement at that age after spending all those years in law enforcement. I can't even grasp that. I can't. Like, there's something wrong there. It's weird, and it's crazy, and it shouldn't even be allowed. We have to start. we have to have an age limit on law enforcement. We have to. The feds do. If you can't be over 60 years old and work at a federal agency as a 1811, which is the investigator special agents. You can't. We need to make the same thing. We need to have the same thing in local law enforcement across the board, because you have no business being in that job at 65, 70, 75 years old. That's crazy. That's crazy. And so we have to fix that. We've got to get that fixed. But I'm glad Walker County did the right thing, and it wasn't even close either. And talk about money. So let me pull. I think Amber Secrets True Crime podcast put something up about the money because that's what we're going to be talking about the other election as well. But they're opposite. So in the Walker County Sheriff race, J.C. Poe raised and spent $132,000. That's astronomical numbers for an election in a county that small. That's crazy numbers. You should never spend over, I'll give you $100,000 at the high end, but you should never spend over $100,000. And again, I don't even think you should spend that much on an election in a county of less than 100,000 people. That's crazy. That's just throwing money away. Nick Smith spent $122,000, so just $10,000 less than Poe. Again, way too much. Jason Akins spent $12,600. $12,600. And he won by a landslide. So it turns out in Walker County, Alabama, of all places, and this is very ironic, honestly, you can't buy an election, thankfully. Nick Smith could have spent $2 million and he wouldn't have won. That wasn't happening. Anybody that gave money to him, hey, there's something wrong with you, honestly. If you add Poe and Smith together, they spent a total of, and this is combined, they spent a total of $255,000. $255,000 against Akins, who spent $12,600. It's awesome. And as you're going to hear me in a minute, most of the time an election can be bought. Definitely. Thankfully, Walker Countyans are done with it. They're tired of it. They're done with it. But they made the right call in Walker County. I'm really excited about that. I'm excited to see what Akins does with that agency. Now, for the big election that I wanted so bad, I wanted for the U.S. Senate, the Alabama seat for U.S. Senate, I wanted, obviously, as most of you know, if not all, I wanted Jared Hudson to win that so bad because he was the right man for it. He just, there's no doubt about that. It frustrates me to no end that Alabama does the exact same thing over and over again and expects a different result. Seems like that's the definition of something. It is. That's insanity. It's insanity. But that's what we do. And but talking about money and buying an election, because that's what happened here, and this is very concerning and troubling on a lot of levels. Because as most of you know now, Barrymore won, unfortunately. But what happened is out-of-state people not from Alabama, bought our Senate seat. And that could not be more clear. And this is not opinion. This is what happened. And when I tell you the numbers that were spent, and just take that, the fact that people couldn't see that. There's no other word I can put but ignorant in there, that you couldn't see that. When there's out-of-state PACs, out-of-state organizations spending in all $15 million in 1 month during the runoff, which was 1 month, out-of-state money to a tune of $15 million was spent on Barrymore. $15 million in 1 month was spent on Barrymore. And hardly any of that money came from any citizen of Alabama. And idiots lined up at the polls and voted for him. They couldn't see it. I don't understand that. And this is not an opinion. This is not a guess. This is not an allegation. The facts, the proof, the evidence is there. That's how much money was spent on Barrymore in 1 month. And we can see where the money came from and who gave the money. It's from out-of-state PACs. And $12 million of it, a big chunk of it, was by crypto and data tech companies. So what do you think's about to happen across Alabama? These data centers are about to be everywhere, and you're going to have Barrymore to think about, to think for that. I wish I was wrong, but I would bet everything I've ever owned that's what's going to happen, because that's, again, it's common sense. You're not going to spend $12 million on an election that doesn't affect you in any way whatsoever unless you're going to benefit from it. That's common sense. That's why it should not be allowed. It should not be allowed. But I'm constantly hearing people gripe about these data centers and worried about them, and I am too. And you just let those companies buy your Senate seat. It doesn't get much more ignorant than that. Like, why would you want that? Why would you sit back and let out-of-state companies buy your Senate seat? And nobody can claim they didn't realize this what's going on. We talked about it forever. Oh, I guarantee you Alabama Power was behind some of that, quite a bit of it too. They're a little more sneaky about it, but I guarantee you that. And you will see that was one of Jared Hudson's big things that he was going to go after and try to fix. I'll bet you anything, Barry Moore doesn't even ever mention that again. Wait and see. And so every time you come across somebody that voted for Barry Moore, ask them how their power bill's going. It's a clear monopoly. We don't have a choice. Like, I don't get to pick and choose who puts power to my house. And I have to pay them whatever the hell they want me to. I don't have a choice. I can't say that's too much or this is ridiculous. This company charges less. There is no other company. How is that legal? We're not supposed to have monopolies in this country. How is that legal? And we just voted a man in Senate that's all for it. Trust me, watch and see. And you know why he doesn't care about what happens in Alabama? Because he doesn't live here anymore. Barry Moore doesn't live in Alabama. Your bill went up $90. I'm glad that we don't live in the same house we did in North Alabama. I legit probably wouldn't be able to do this because I'd probably have to go get a real job for sure and make a lot more money if we did, because our power bill up there, our house was a lot larger and the power bill was already ridiculous. It was unbelievable. Thankfully, we don't have a house that size anymore, but I can't imagine what the power bill up at that house would be now. I can't. Like it would, because it was already crazy. But we auctioned off our Senate seat. I think how I put it in the post was it was a billionaire auction. And that's exactly what it was. We auctioned off our Senate seat. And I haven't looked today, so I don't know exactly how many votes Barry Moore ended up with. But, and by the way, it was a very close race. I've seen people post that it was a landslide. No, it wasn't. It was very close. It wasn't as close as I wish it was, but it was still very close. But as of last night, it was around 160,000 votes. And in these figures I did last night, I put those in as far as the bumpers in. But to put it plain and simple, Barry Moore paid anywhere between $80 and $115 per vote. So if you let's average it out, Barry Moore paid around $100 per vote. And if you've ever worked on a campaign and know politics like that, that is crazy numbers. Your ROI there is bad as it could be. $100 per vote. That's nuts. Yeah, so a little around $15 million and we're just talking about the 1 month. We're not talking about the whole election. We're talking about just the runoff, the 1 month runoff. Around $15 million was spent on Barry Moore. In that same amount of time, I don't remember. Hold on, I'm gonna have to look. Let me look back at my notes. I just want to tell you how much Jared Hudson spent. It was $10 per vote is what Hudson spent, but let me get the full numbers. Where did it go? Hold on. I've lost my figures. Don't quote me on this. Oh, yeah. No, okay. Here it is. So approximately $250,000 in the runoff, in the 1 month runoff, is what Hudson's campaign spent. $250,000 compared to almost $15 million. Yeah, I think the $2 million is the total for Hudson's campaign. That's for the total, but just for the month, just for the 1 month runoff. And these numbers may change a little bit because the final filings has not been done yet. But when they are, I'll get those and I'll put out the final full numbers. But I mean, this is a pretty close approximate. If we give it the benefit of a doubt, which I don't think, from what I added up, I don't think it's anywhere close to this. But let's say Hudson spent $500,000 compared to $15 million. That's unbelievable numbers. It's unbelievable. But obviously, Hudson paid way less per vote. Hudson paid less than average per vote, and Barry Moore paid. And I don't know. I'm curious. This is the part of politics I enjoy as far as researching and what I like, because I like following the money, all that stuff, and I want to look deep into this and get all the figures and everything. But I don't know what the average these days, because it's been years since I've worked high on a campaign, but I know $90, $100 per vote is unbelievable. That's unbelievable. It's just, that's crazy number. It's probably, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to misspeak. I may be off a little bit. I want to say it's probably 10 times more than average, but I may be wrong. But anyway, that's crazy. It's a crazy amount of money to spend per vote. That's just nuts. And honestly, these figures are actually going to be higher if you really, because it's the same thing I tell marketing companies or businesses, because I was doing business consulting, but if you spend $30,000 in 1 month on marketing for your business, and you make, say that $30,000 you spend in 1 month, and in that same month you got 500 leads, 1,000 leads. Say you got 1,000 leads by spending that $30,000. Well, that is not a good ROI on your marketing money spent. But you can't, if all you got was 1,000 leads for that month, you can't attribute every single one of those leads to that marketing money, because some of those leads are going to be just people passing by your business and seeing it, family, friends, word of mouth. That's where if you own a business, listen to this, because almost every business doesn't understand this and doesn't realize this. That's where a lot of businesses get this wrong on their marketing. So they'd be like, well, we had a really good ROI on our marketing for last month. We spent this much and we got this many leads, but you're not accounting for how many of those leads were you going to get anyway. Say if you had spent $0, well, you're going to get quite a bit no matter what. You're going to get some. So you can't attribute every single one of those leads to that $30,000 you spent on marketing. And this is the same thing. You can't contribute every single vote Barrymore got strictly on billboards, signs, commercials. So if you did calculations with an approximate and adding that in, then he spent way more per vote. Does that make sense? Sorry, I get nerdy when it comes to this, but does that make sense? So he really, in reality, he spent a lot more than just $100 per vote, because a lot of those votes he was going to get, especially in Barry Moore's situation, how many votes did he get just because Trump backed him? A lot. A lot. He got a lot of those votes just because Trump backed him. So he'd have gotten those votes no matter if he had spent $500,000 in the runoff. So again, in reality, he spent a lot more per vote. And that's crazy. And then, I know what I was going to look up. I want to see. But if Barry Moore can really feel good about this, like if in his mind, or if he goes around telling people, acting like this was him that won that race, He's way worse than I even realized. Because he knows. He knows Barry Moore didn't win that race. If you take away Trump's backing, if you take away that one endorsement, if Barry Moore didn't have Trump's endorsement, he would not have won. Even with all the money spent, he wouldn't have won. If you have Trump's endorsement and you take away the $15 million from PACs that was spent on him, he wouldn't have won. So, I mean, Barry Moore didn't win this race. Again, the PACs won this race. That's who owns his seat. That's who owns him. He's bought and paid for now, and he can't deny that. And anyone that tells you he's not bought and paid for, they're just lying to themselves. Because, again, you don't spend $12 million on something unless you're going to get something in return for it. That's common sense. No company is going to spend $12 million. And please understand, I'm not saying it wasn't one specific company that spent that much, but you get my point. No company is going to spend $3 million on a campaign unless they're getting something back from it. There's going to be something in it for them. Now, why did they spend so much money? And understand, you got to look at it from both ways. They didn't just spend all the money for Barry Moore. They spent all that money also to be against Jared Hudson. That's how bad they did not want Jared Hudson in that seat. So why didn't the crypto companies, the tech companies want Jared Hudson in that seat? Why did they spend that much money to make sure he didn't get in that seat? Because he wasn't bought. Because he wasn't on their side. He's on Alabama's side. And this is questions that Barry Moore should have to answer to Alabama. He should have to answer to his people. Hey, Barry Moore, why did these companies spend multi-millions on you to get you in that seat? There's not one business, profitable business or company in the world that's going to do that out of the goodness of their heart. If they did, they wouldn't be in business anymore. Again, that's common sense. And Barry Moore knows that. And yeah, like somebody just said, don't forget, he also completely lied about his military service for years and is still lying about it and won't come clean about it. Let me tell you what happens when you have a high up politician that will lie about something like that. That will embellish like that. They're going to end up getting themselves in trouble. And by that, what I mean is people are going to end up having dirt on them. And they're going to blackmail them. That's how blackmail happens. When you have a character like Barry Moore, and you will embellish and you will lie, you will do whatever it takes to get into a Senate seat that only pays $150,000 or $180,000 a year. Again, we're not talking about millions of dollars. He's going to make like 100. I don't know what their salary is now. Probably around 180, 185, which living in D.C. is equivalent to about $40,000 a year in Alabama. I mean, honestly, that's nothing. You probably can't even buy a real house in Northern Virginia or DC if you're making $180,000 a year. Because it's extremely expensive. What we're going to do, because I've got it out for Barry Moore. This is still personal to me. I'm not going to forget about it. And I know that we're going to continue to grow. And I know that one day, because I'm going to put in the work, my team's going to put in the work. I know that one day we're going to be way bigger and we're going to have a lot more finances. And when we do, a lot of that money is going to be spent on this type of stuff, investigating these corrupt politicians. Because I want to know how much in stocks Barry Moore has right now. And then we'll go back and look at it in 4 years. Within 5 years, Barry Moore will be a multi-millionaire. Mark my words. You say, how is that possible if he's only making $180,000 a year? It's insider trading. It's what every one of them up there does. Jared Hudson had promised. One of his big promises campaigning was he was not going to have any investments in the stock market. That was one of his big things. He wants to stop it. And he was not going to put a penny in the stock. And that would have been very easy for us to check if it had gone against that. He wouldn't have gone against that. That's another reason why DC got all the money they possibly could down here to get Barry Moore up there, because Jared Hudson is against them trading stocks in Congress because it's insider trading 100%. And they don't want their money train to stop. And we've got 160-something thousand complete ignorant fucking Alabamians that don't even see that, and they voted for the idiot anyway. It frustrates me that you have to be an elitist to get into one of those seats. That's not how it's supposed to be. Regular Joes should be able to get those seats at times. But as of right now, that's impossible. Because the tech companies and crypto companies have all the money, and they're not going to let that happen. And Big Pharma. That's where all this money's coming from. Big Pharma and Big Tech. Crypto. And they're not going to let a regular guy or girl in one of those seats. Right now, it's not going to happen. We just saw it happen. We just witnessed it in Alabama. But we're going to call out Barry Moore. And we're going to see, we're going to dig and see if we can find out how much in stocks he owns right now. And then we're going to see how wealthy he is in 4 or 5 years. That's why Barry Moore wanted to be a senator. Because he wants to get rich. That's it. He wants the power and he wants to be rich. You shouldn't even be allowed to get rich in Congress. If you're not wealthy when you get in there and you're wealthy when you get out, that's a big freaking red flag. But it happens to almost every single one of them. We saw it with Dan Crenshaw. That's what he did. He did tons of insider trading. And when he was called out for it, Sean Ryan called him out for it, and he wouldn't answer about it. He wouldn't even go on his podcast. He kept acting like he was and acting like he agreed to, but he didn't. Because he was not going to answer those questions. Because he knew what he was doing. The same money that just voted Thomas Massie out, the same money that just got Massie out is the same money that just put Barry Moore in. The same money that kept Jared Hudson out. And Alabamians sat there and let it happen. Do I think we will start seeing a trend of losing wealth in Congress? Hell no. Not unless they stop the insider trading. No, we're not going to see that. And what really pisses me off, they just arrested a service member. I think it was a special ops guy for its insider trading with something to do with the Venezuelan raid. They arrested him federally. When every member of Congress right now is doing the same thing. How could anyone that's in Congress doing that same thing right now, which is almost all of them, it's not every one of them, but it's almost all of them, how could they sit there and see one of their spec ops military guys get arrested and life ruined for doing something that they do every day? How could they sit back and just let that happen and not say anything and be okay with it? Because they're freaking idiots. They're evil. And they only care about themselves. And I'm not I'm not like some crazy intelligent person by any means. I have average intelligence at the best. If I can figure this out, anybody can. If I can see this, anybody can if they just open their eyes. But that's the thing. They don't want to open their eyes. They don't want to see it. They don't want to believe it's happening. And they think in their heads, well, if I don't see that it's happening, then it's just not happening. Well, that's not what happens. Isha, that was not one of your better jokes. I got to be honest with you. You've had much better. That was more like one of my dad jokes. It just wasn't that good. There are a bunch of congressmen and senators getting kickbacks from Big Pharma. Yes, and there's another congressman, Robert Adderholt, is getting kickbacks left and right. I'm telling you that. And that's another one that we're going to keep on putting in office. He'll be up there as long as he lives. And people are too dumb to see it. Trust me, Adderholt is getting a lot of kickbacks. This is exactly why, though, from the very beginning, I wanted Hudson in there so bad because I know what kind of man he is. And I knew he would go up there and fight for pretty much the exact same things I would if it were me. Would we agree on everything? Well, no. But the big things, absolutely. And I knew that. And we let out-of-state billionaires buy the seat. Who's your congressman, Natalie? But and if you don't if you're not familiar with the Thomas Massie thing and what happened. Massey went against Trump on this war that anybody that will actually speak the truth is against. Because everyone knows we're fighting Iran for Israel. And that doesn't make sense. That's not our job. But that's the only reason we're in that war. Massey knew that, and he spoke up. He's like, hey, maybe we should look at this, and I don't think we should be doing this. And that's all it took. And Trump said, I want him gone, and they got him gone. And the exact same money that got him gone is what just got Barry Moore in office. Why? That's why Trump backed Barry Moore. That's why he endorsed him. I'll tell you something about the Epstein files. Somebody just said something about those. Don't forget those. I was having some conversations, I think it's been within the past week, maybe 2 weeks, with some people that are way smarter than me. And one of the people is like in the know. As far as I'm not going to say much more about them, but they work, the career they work in, they're kind of in the know on things. Do you know why? And this makes all the sense in the world. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, wow, that makes sense. Do you know why Trump's not worried about the Epstein files and everybody else that's in charge right now? Do you know why they don't care about it right now? Because the American people don't care about it. And you say, hold on, I do care about it. Why do you think they set everything up where everybody that wanted to see everything has to go to a government website? You think that was just for convenience? No, they want to see who is looking at the Epstein files. And the fact is, right now, not many people. In D.C., the people in D.C. knows. If that many people are not that worried about it, they're not even looking at them, that's not going to affect their vote. And they're exactly right. Just one of those things when you hear it, you're like, holy shit, that makes so much sense. That's what's happening. Oh, Katie, yes. That's right. Yeah, Massey wouldn't shut up about the Epstein files as well. That was another big thing. Yeah, you're exactly right. I think the ultimate thing, I think the big thing though that got him out was the war. But yeah, he wouldn't let the Epstein files go either because he actually cared. But they know that if people are not worried enough that they even go look at them, click on that government website, because again, they can keep track of exactly who and how many and the areas they live in. I mean, you go to a website, it takes all that information from you. So, and read the fine print when you go on any government website. It all tells you it's taking out all your information. But that's specifically why they put it on a government website like that, like they did, because they wanted to be able to keep up and see how popular is this really? How pissed off and worried are Americans really worried about this? And it turns out not a lot. Now, I will say what I've been saying because it's common sense. I don't think there's anything bad in the Epstein files about Trump. If there was, the last administration would have brought it out. They literally put fake charges on, felony charges on him. I mean, they did everything to him. You don't think that if they had actually had something real on him, they would put it on him? That's the craziest thing I ever heard. And there's tons of people that think that. And I'm like, this is common sense. So I don't think there's anything in there about that, but I do think there's probably a lot of Trump's friends in there. I do think that. I think there's a lot of high up people in there, and I don't think we'll ever see. I wish people could just, I wish everyone would just use a little common sense in this stuff that's extremely important and really matters. But unfortunately, I mean, the fact is a lot of people don't. It's also crazy to me that Jared Hudson lost some counties that he won in the primary. That's crazy to me. I am proud to say that he won the counties that I'm the most popular in, where I have the most viewers, the biggest audience. Those counties, he won all of those. I think all of them. There may have been one. Maybe there was one. I think it was all of them though. We'll have to go back and look. He did lose Franklin County big, which is very frustrating to me. That's my home county. But I don't have a ton of viewers up there though. Where is so I was trying to get the final numbers from last night. Here they are. Yeah, so final, except for those saying this was a landslide win for Barry Moore, he ended up with 55.8% of the votes, and Moore was at 44.2%. So Moore ended up with 173,400 votes, and Jared had 137,300 votes. So, I mean, it's not a landslide. Obviously, I wish it would have been closer. I wish he would have won. But considering, again, when you consider the amount of money spent, that's crazy. If you take away Trump's endorsement and the money spent on Moore, Jared Hudson would have won 70%. I guarantee you that. That's what pisses me off. You know what's crazy? In Fayette County, they ended in a dead tie. That's crazy. Both of them ended up with 1,655 votes. I mean, exactly 50%. That's pretty crazy. That's unheard of, too. We talked about Walker County in the beginning a little bit. I was just saying how excited I was that Jason Akins won. That's who we wanted in there, and I'm legit very excited about that, and I can't wait to see what he does. Ready for him to get in office and start making turnarounds and changes. Yeah, voter turnout was horrible, but that's a runoff. That's why I was preaching that the whole month, just that we had to actually get to the polls, because it's hard to get people to the polls in those runoffs. It's very hard. So I mean that was the voter turnout's expected, unfortunately. But no, you're exactly right. That's why Hudson lost some of the counties that he won previously, was because of the voter turnout. It's still frustrating, and that's what I meant by it's frustrating, because if they would have came out, he would have won that way too. You heard a lot say they didn't know it was a runoff. Are they living under a rock? I mean, seriously, you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that. Luckily we did get the results we wanted in Walker County, and that was needed. I mean, so bad. I can't even. I mean, I'm still overly excited about that. I can't wait. And as I said this whole time, we're going to hold. I mean, I have a lot of faith in Jason Akins, and I think a lot of confidence. We're going to hold him accountable, but you can't. Number one, he's not going to be perfect. Nobody is. So, and there's going to be some people that are demanding perfection, and that's not going to happen. So I'm not talking about that, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in the first year. Now, he can make a lot of changes in the first year, but an agency in as disarray as that agency is, it's going to take a lot longer than a year. It's going to take longer than 2 years to get it where it needs to be. It's going to take a long time. That's just because Nick Smith's out of office, it doesn't take back how bad he ran that agency into the ground, and that's what's so sad about it. I just hope he starts painting. If Aikens mentioned one thing about painting, I'm done with him. He better not paint anything. It was all over TV too, because of all the. I mean, they were all negative ads against Hudson because it was all the tech and crypto packs attacking Hudson and talking about how Moore was the perfect man. But they were all over the TV. Tons of commercials. And those mailers, my God, how did you not know there were? If you didn't know there was runoff, you literally don't get mail. You're not on social media at all. You don't turn on the TV and you don't get mail. Now, I don't get any of the campaign text or calls or anything because I blocked all that stuff a long time. I forgot how I did that. There's a way you can block all that. So I didn't get any of that, but I know a lot of people did. There's some kind of company there's I can't remember what it is. It's been a couple years ago now. But somebody told me about it, and you go and you put in your information on it's like a website or something, and they have to take you out of all that stuff, and it works because I've never gotten one text or call from a campaign or taking a poll. I don't get any of those, thankfully. But I do have high hopes for Jared Hudson. I mean, he did very well, and so he's not just going away. Now I have no idea what his future plans are or nothing like that. I don't know, but I don't see them just going away. They work too hard. He got way too much name recognition now, and again, he did very well. I mean, he got a ton of votes. So, I mean, I'm looking for him to run for something. Now, again, he may not, but I hope he does. And I don't have a clue what it would be, but I hope he does. Oh, and part of this is on me. I just got a text reminding me. Here, I've not put the links up yet on the website, but if you could please, everyone that thinks, again, you don't have to be 100% sure, but if you are pretty decently sure that you're going to be able to come to the public demonstration that we're going to be having in Hamilton in July at the ramp, if you could please go to the website and on the contact button, hit that, put your name, email address, and then in the subject or in the body of the message, just say, I'm planning, I will be there. I'll be there for the public demonstration or whatever, but we need to get a decent count on that because we've got to get that paperwork sent in, I think, tomorrow. I think we got to have it in by tomorrow. So, and we have everything filled out and ready to go. Other than that, we need an approximate number. So if you could please do that, that would help us a lot. And then we should have time tomorrow to get it all put on the website like I wanted to. And then also there's a few different volunteer positions that we'll need for that. And you can get on there and volunteer for those positions. What's Nick going to do now? He'll probably start a podcast. I think he's going to do some MMA fighting or jiu-jitsu. This is a joke. He's bragging about how he's a jiu-jitsu master or something now. There's no telling. There's no telling. The time of day it will be is really up to you all. I'm glad you said that. That is another thing I need you to put in the message. Put the date you would prefer, because there's 3 different days. There's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So put the date that you prefer and an approximate time. And then we'll go through, and whichever date and time has the most, people saying that'd be the best date and time for them, that's the day and time we'll do. It's going to be hot, so we're not going to do it. Yeah, let me be clear about that. We're not going to do it at like noon. It's going to be way too hot. So we'll do it. I mean, I would think the best time to do it would be in the evening, like in the later evening. I don't want to be out there, when it's dark, because that's just not safe. But somewhere kind of closer to the evening where it's not just crazy, crazy hot, if that makes sense. Because I don't want anyone passing out from heat stroke or anything like that. And then once we figure out exactly where we're going to be able to do it, then, because I hope there's an area for us that we're able to do it where we can set up a couple like tents and have some fans or something like that, or at least some chairs and tents, where at least we can be in the shade. So we're looking into all of that. On that subject, looks like Karen Wheaton has put a new video up. We haven't watched her in a while, so let's check that out. I know that's what you all were wanting to do. I'm not going to call out the person that's responsible for this. Oh, she just put one out 43 minutes ago.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 4.
Hello, my front porch. Friend, look who came to say a big hello. Look at that smile. Don't you think he's feeling a little bit better? Thank you for praying for him. Still believing for our miracle. We believe nothing's too hard for God, don't we? I'm out here on my mother's front porch today with a rooster crowing in the background. Yes, my back's out a little bit, but it'll be okay. I got this word for you from the Lord. Oh, it's encouraging my faith.
Oh,
and I believe it's
encouraging.
going to encourage yours just as much as it is mine. It's a scripture. I want you to go write the scripture down, get it memorized, put it on your refrigerator, put it on the mirror, put it in front of your face all day. Psalms 62:5. And I've got it in the Living Translation, and I've got it also in the Old King James. I love it, even the Old King James Version. Here it says it like this.
Because she's so old.
It says, "Oh, my soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him." Don't you love that? He's talking to his mind. Oh, my soul, mind, you wait only upon God, for my expectation is from him.
She sounded like she was reading Shakespeare right there. You ever went to one of those plays where they're doing Shakespeare and they have those pauses in there and stuff? That's exactly what she's doing. That's funny. I'll play that back.
My soul, wait thou only upon God, for my expectation is from him. Don't you love that? He's talking to his mind. Oh, my soul, mind, you wait only upon God, for my expectation is from him. Okay, remember that word expectation. Listen to it in the New Living Translation. It says here, look at it right there. See it right there? He says, "Let all that I am wait quietly before God, for my hope is in him." Don't you love that? So this morning, I kept hearing this phrase in my spirit from this passage out of the King James.
She did just rub her mustache for good luck.
My expectation is from God. My expectation is from God. That word expectation holds so much in it. That's the way we're supposed to pray. You and I, as intercessors, are supposed to pray. And Jesus said it in Mark. He says, you pray, and whatever you pray for, believe that you've received it. What is that? It's expectation. You and I, we ask God. You're asking for your child to come home delivered. You're asking for the restoration of your family. You're asking for things that in the natural are impossible. You're believing for miracles only God.
Right now, Karen, we're just asking that you go away and that your organization, your cult is shut down so no more children are being harmed. That's our main ask right now. Can you help us with that? That would answer a lot of my prayers legit.
God can do, and he loves that. Oh, he wants you to. I love the word that Jesus said it. He said, it's your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. In other words, it's your Father's good pleasure to answer your prayer. Honey, if you're going to pray, you should expect an answer. There's something wrong with praying like it's some kind of just a ritual we do with no expectation that you're going to get an answer. Come on, that's called hope.
You mean like her best friend, lover boy, Perry Stone, when he's praying and texting? You think he's expecting from that prayer? He's so deep involved in it that he can text during it?
Hope deferred, which makes the heart sick. That's when you've lost hope. You just pray because it sort of sounds good, eases your conscience that you pray, but you don't expect it. You don't expect an answer. That's not faith. Prayer, that's why he's saying, oh soul, hope only in God. My expectation is from him. I pray and I expect an answer. Not that God owes me anything. No, he's already given. Oh, look at what he's already given us. He doesn't owe us anything.
Unfortunately, Karen, God has not given you those things. You've taken them as a false prophet. And I think you will have to answer to that. Well, I know you will have to answer to that one day, and I don't think you will end up liking it when you do.
But you know what he is? He's true to his word. I expect from him, not because I can try to manipulate him or put him in some formula. I expect from him because he is worthy to be trusted. I expect from him because I believe his word is true. I expect from him because it brings him pleasure and joy.
Yeah, Doc. No, I've got my attorney is working on all the paperwork. She's contacted them and has gotten all the details that, so we're filling out everything we have to. We're doing everything completely legally and the way that the city requests. I don't know exactly as far as the location yet. If anyone, it is something else I want to say right quick. If anyone knows anyone that does own any businesses around the main ramp campus right there, and you think that they wouldn't mind us being like in their parking lot or something, that would be extremely helpful. Now, again, I don't know if anybody knows any, and like Doc just said, unfortunately, the ramp owns most of the buildings around them, but there's some that they don't. So they don't own the former KFC building? I just figured they did, but I mean, I don't know that they do. I just figured they did since it was right there kind of close. The police chief goes to church at the ramp? Is that true? Oh my God. Y'all hold on one second. Sorry, I'm trying to find out 100% if that's true. I'm not doubting who said that. I just want to get it from some other sources to make sure, because that's a game changer. Because I did not know that. I think that's who we turned the paperwork into. If that's true, if that's true, that police chief is not going to like me very, very soon. That's a game changer if that's true. All right, I got about 20 people on that right now, but let's see. Let's go ahead and see what else Karen's got to say here.
To answer our prayers. When our prayers are according to his will, we can expect an answer. He doesn't say pray and worry. He doesn't say ask and then go worry about it. He says ask, pray, and then expect an answer. Are you expecting an answer today? When you prayed today, when you prayed about that thing this morning, did you pray and believe when you finished, I'm expecting an answer?
I don't even know who the police chief is. It may be somebody I know or know of. I don't even know who it is, but somebody just said he's not a bad guy, just got in with the wrong crowd. My issue with that is this is a cult. This is not a church. We've proven that. If the police chief is a member of the cult, the same cult that has had at least 7 different child predators on staff, you see how this looks? Like, this is really bad. Like, that's not going to look good for him. That's the issue with it. Like, you're telling me the police chief is a member there and been there during most of this too, and it was going on. Here's what I mean. If the police chief really is a member there and he goes there, then he knew what was going on. And that's a big problem. That he knew what was going on to do anything about it. Now, again, we're verifying to see if that is absolutely sure or not, because I don't want to accuse him of anything that we don't know yet. But if that's true, that's a big problem for him. I don't think I know a Jordan Carter. I don't think I've ever heard that name. But that's big headlines if that's true. City police chief member of local cult. That'll be the headline. That's going to turn some heads.
What does expectation mean? It means you're looking for it. It means you're expecting the answer. I was reminded today, I remember when I was younger, when a woman was pregnant, remember that? When a woman was pregnant, she usually didn't say, I'm pregnant. She said, I'm expecting. And even when we used to talk about, somebody being pregnant, we'd say, hey, did you know that June is expecting? June's expecting. I just love that. Because whenever you're pregnant with something, that means she's got something inside of her. You can't see it on the natural. You can't see it on the outside. It's in her.
He's only 31. Oh, yeah, he's in way over his head. Yeah, he's not going to know what hit him. Again, if we verify that and that's true, he's not going to know what hit him in a few days.
It's growing in her. And because of that, what are they saying? She's expecting. What? What is she expecting? She's expecting what's in her that at the right time is going to be manifested and become tangible. That's what it is to have faith. You're carrying a promise in you, believing your prodigal daughter's coming home. You're carrying a promise in you that nothing's too hard to deliver your promise.
She got a back brace on there? What's she done to her back?
Prodigal son from addiction. You're carrying a word. You're carrying a hope for the restoration of your family. You're carrying something in you.
Okay. The word we just got from a pretty very reliable source. Okay, I feel a lot better now. He does not, and he is not a fan. He actually put a stop to all the off-duty work for officers for any ramp activities. So it may have been the previous chief, like a previous chief or something, that whoever said, I forgot who said it, that he went there, but it may have been the previous chief that you were thinking about. Yeah, I think this is from a pretty reliable source. Okay, I feel, whew. Isha, why did you just post 3 pineapples? Is that pineapples? No, I feel a lot better now. Like that was about to be a huge game changer. That's why as soon as I saw that, I about fell on my seat. I was like, wow. Because I was surprised I hadn't heard that if that were true. And so, but two, whew, okay, I feel, man, because that is the last thing I wanted. I don't want to have to, I don't like calling out law enforcement. I don't like it at all. But if it's a necessity, it's a necessity, and we will. But I would prefer law enforcement do right and do the right thing so we don't have to call them out. Yeah, or I mean, and he may have been going there before, and then it sounds like he saw what was he realized what was happening going on, and he got out of there, and so. Yeah, there's a few people saying he used to go there.
that in the natural nobody else sees, but it's in you, and you know it's in you. You can feel it growing. You can feel it moving. Somehow you just, every once in a while, it just gives you a thud that says, I'm still here. I'm getting bigger. I'm still here. Nobody else can see it, but you know it. Why? Because you're expecting. You're expecting. You just need to start saying out loud, I'm expecting.
All theatrics. All theatrics. Yeah, no, she missed her calling as an actress. I mean, legit. I'm not trying to be funny. She is a good actress. She's a great communicator and a good actress. She missed her calling there. But that's all she is. She's an actress.
Why don't you go try that on your husband tonight? But anyway, whew, I love this too.
The hell did I just miss? Did you go try that on your husband? Hold on, I gotta.
Nobody else can see it, but you know it. Why? Because you're expecting. You're expecting. You just need to start saying out loud, I'm expecting. Why don't you go try that on your husband tonight? But anyway, whew, I love this too.
I'm lost, but I don't think I want to be found there. Yeah, let's move on.
OptiSigns lets you instantly transform any screen into a dynamic digital display that can be managed from anywhere. The best part is you can get started right now with devices you may already own. And for an even simpler, more powerful experience, we recommend our
In Karen's bio that she wrote, she went to Jim Baker's ministry to be a soap opera actress. So this is her way of fulfilling that calling with her theater and church scene now. Oh, I understand, Melissa. That is Melissa, right? Honeybee. She said, I'm expecting to see all of them in orange soon. Yes.
I love saying in Acts, it was in Acts 2. The Bible says that on the day of Pentecost, these 120 believers had.
Well, that's enough of her voice for now. I was hoping she was going to mention the victims and that she was praying for them or they needed prayers or that, anything about all the child victims that's been in her through her cult. But yeah, still nothing, still silence there. I think that is what she said, Isha, and that's the last thing I ever want to think about with her. So we're going to move right on past that. Especially. Especially with that one picture. And that's all I'm going to say but there's people on here that know what I'm talking about. Jesus. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, that's gross. No, she's never mentioned the victims. Her husband don't live there. Where does he live? So her husband really doesn't even live with her. He lives in Chattanooga. That's strange. So he doesn't like her either. Tells you a lot right there. I mean, I can completely understand. I'm not trying to be funny, and I don't have anything. I mean, it is what it is. I, I think there's a decent possibility. I wouldn't doubt she has a girlfriend, maybe two. I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. There's a lot going on with her. Well, yeah, I mean, if he's in Chattanooga, I figure that is what he's doing. He's running the ramp up there. That's strange. Has always been like that. There's a lot going on there. Wow. So you've got this woman that claims to be a prophet, and she doesn't even live with her husband. Yeah, I think there's more going on there than meets the eye. There's truly no telling what all she's involved in. I mean, wow. Oh, that is true. She still has her first husband's last name. I've not even thought about that. That is weird. I mean, that's strange in itself. And wow, this, my God, this just gets deeper and deeper and just stranger every day. I mean, imagine all right, imagine your local small town church. I'm sure some of you, if not a lot of you, go to like smaller churches. Imagine your preacher, because like I grew up in a like an extremely small Free Will Baptist church in the middle of nowhere. Imagine your preacher didn't even live with his wife. Oh, that wouldn't last. You wouldn't be the preacher there long. I promise you that. They'd run you out so fast. Like, especially for a Baptist, like oh no, can't have that. But I mean, it is strange though. It's very strange. It's not normal. First off, that's not a marriage. I mean, that is not a marriage. If you don't like, it's not. Yeah, that's weird. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and head off for tonight. Well, we've been going. Oh, a little over 2 hours. But I appreciate each and every one of you. I've enjoyed it. I'm starting to really enjoy these Wednesday night YouTube lives. They're more relaxing. I can relax a little bit more because I don't have as much going on, and it's kind of a break and a fun break. Now we've had a lot of not so fun conversations tonight, obviously, but I have enjoyed it, and I've got some really cool podcast guests coming up soon. We're going to start getting them in. That a lot of interesting ones. And please don't forget, if you think you will be coming to or can come to the public demonstration, the peaceful protest that we'll be having in Hamilton in July, please message us through the website and let us know when the date that will work best for you and the time that you think would work best. That will be very, very helpful to us. And then, like I said, in a day or so, I'll get it up on the website. Some like forms where you can. I'll have a list of there's a few different volunteer positions that I'd like to fill for that demonstration that you can volunteer for. So I'll get that up soon. Also, remember, what was it? Best way to contact me is through the website, unless it's somebody that I talk to regularly. But if you're sending me information or if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast or know someone that's interested in being a guest on the podcast, contact us through the website. If you're interested in me coming to speak at your organization, business, whatever, there's a place on the website for that. And then we're still working on the course, the child predator course. It's getting very close. I'm getting really excited about it. So I can't wait to get that out. I think that's about it right now. But yeah, we've got a lot of big things going. That none of this would be happening if it wasn't for you all. So I can't tell you how much I truly appreciate all of you. Oh, her husband's still on Perry Stone's board. That's right. But no, I appreciate all of you for sure. Again, I'm very happy for Walker County. I think they're moving in the right direction now, thankfully. And then also, what else was it? I think that's about it. But I'll see y'all back. I'll be back live Friday night at 9 p.m. Central, and that'll be back on all three platforms. So make sure you don't miss that. And tell your friends and family. If you've not watched the video I put out today, please go watch that. Comment on it, like it, share it, repost it. It's very helpful to get it pushed out, along with all of my videos and posts I do. It's very helpful. And if there's anything I can do for any of you, just contact me, and if I can help you, I will. If I can, I'll tell you I can't. But I really appreciate it. Also, don't forget that if you do contact us with information or anything like that, or needing someone to contact you back, you'll probably be hearing from someone from my team, and that way they can kind of filter through things. That way we're not missing anything. But they'll contact you first and kind of get an idea of what's going on. And then if it's something that they think needs to be pushed onto me, they'll push it onto me. And that's the only way we can do it now. So just keep that in mind. I don't mind if you contact asking if they're legit, but if you contact us and they contact you back, I mean, they'll be legit. But again, yep, that's it. So y'all have a great rest of your Wednesday night, and I will see y'all back Friday. Welcome to Truth Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, former narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I've seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online. Before this show begins, understand this. What you are about to hear may be disturbing to some audiences. This podcast contains explicit language, dark themes, and real conversations that are not suitable for children and may be triggering for some individuals. If you choose to continue, do so knowing this content is intended for mature audiences